All right. Ethos, Pathos, Logos. Ethos, Pathos, Logos. So, what is these? These are what they call modes. You can call them nodes of persuasion. All right. Or we just call them methods, understanding energy. The process. Okay. Now, there's also creativity involved in this. But they also call it the Aristotelian triad. Now, Aristotelian also refers to Aristotle. And as we know, Aristotle is a figure in ancient philosophy, made contributions about logic, criticism, rhetoric, physics, biology, and so much more, metaphysics, etc. Right? Cool. Now, we have other examples of that going back to Thoth, the Atlanteans, ancient Egypt, ancient Chem, and people today. Now, today, those concepts that are extracted when it comes to understanding and growing in your spiritual wisdom, your intellectual, emotional wisdom, self in general, okay, and the art of life in relation to art of life and the many energies, okay, those things contribute to a process. The process is, I wouldn't call it a process of persuasion, I wouldn't say it's more of a healing process. All right. And it's more of a creative process. And it's a transmutational process. It's a process that guardians of life understand, guardians of love understand. Now, what do I mean by this? Pay close attention. If we go to the triad, all right, one of the things that they break it down, three of the ways they break down the ethos is that they say to establish trust, you demonstrate the ethos character. Okay. Confidence, experience, knowledge, credentials, endorsements, morals. Okay. Because that is what character is. All right. At least that is one of the many things that character is built off of. Your ego, right? Now, that's ethos, character. Now you use also logos to support your argument, all right, or to support whatever it is you are providing to support, the reasonings why, for example, you can heal or someone can heal or someone has good light with them, is a balance, their purpose and their importance in their life, in being alive and being who they are and just being. You provide references, data, case studies, and the analysis, statistics, research, analogies, metaphors, and similes. And then pathos, that's the logic side. And then pathos is the emotion to win over your audience or to win the healing or to have a successful healing or transmutation. All right. You use images, stories, emotive language, personal feelings, inspirational quotes. Okay. So ethos has been put into these categories and they can help understand several things, but it's way more than that. And the reason I bring it up is because in war games, okay, there is an ethos, pathos, logos aspect going on. It's almost as if life has its own guardians representing itself in many different forms, in many different faces, many different walks of life. And then those guardians, all right, whether they recognize that they are guardians or not, all right, use ethos, pathos, and logos. They understand ethos, pathos, logos. They understand the energy behind that and how that energy actually is used to transmute negativity into upliftment. Anything that's destructive into upliftment, because destruction is stupid when ultimately there is no such thing as destruction. Because if everything already exists and nothing is new under the sun, then that means where did this everything come from? It came from nothing when you actually understand where that nothing is, how it lies within yourself. But that nothing is also everything. So there really can't just be full destruction or full creation. There's always full creation, but there is never a full destruction because that's just a thought. of destruction itself, breaking something, all right, or destroying something. Just that thought is a creation. So you have to have something, you have to create something to destroy, right? So that means only is creation. So if the birthplace of everything that exists comes from a nothingness, then it's just better to understand that this destruction feeling that some people sometimes feel the need to have is a warrior spirit that needs to connect to the nothingness. All right, the place of reference, the source of creativity, which is in every single person, every single being, the animals as well. So you can't just have destruction. Okay, there's no such thing as just destruction. It does not exist. There's no such thing as just darkness without light, light without darkness. There's a in between. All right, and light and darkness are spectrums of infinite creation. Okay, and that creation already has a method to its order and its chaos. Okay, people will have you think that there is either chaos or there's order, but on this end there is both, and they both already exist. Okay, and there's avenues for this transmutation because it's all creative energy anyways. Okay, when you really get to connecting to yourself, you start understanding these energies, how they relate with your life, your interactions, your experiences, your growth processes. Okay, when you really start to understand this shit, then you start to recognize exactly who you are, why certain things you relate to certain things. Okay, why certain things make a lot of sense to you as they do to other people, and why some people can relate, why some people can't relate. Some people who can't relate is because you are meant to bring something of a of of a higher value, something. And when I say higher value, something that goes beyond money, very beyond money. Okay, so yeah, the money can be there, but this is beyond money. This is tapping into life's infinite potential that exists in all of us. This is breaking the chain of the illusion of separation, division, and death. Okay? When we have these war games, and these war games exist already, I'm bringing it on another level. But these war games, they already, in a way, do that. But most people don't see that. It takes a really focused mind. And you can tell when you look at documentaries, I would recommend go and look at this. I'm going to put it in the link. But you guys go watch this documentary. Okay, it's on Business Insider. It's on how Army infantry soldiers are training for possible war with China. Boot camp Business Insider. And I want you to look at what's going on there through the mind and through the eyes of guardians, all right? The eyes of God, all right? And you'll recognize exactly what's happening, and you'll see why it's so important for every piece and every energy to have an avenue for it to express itself and to transmute. When we understand sacred sexual energy, the primordial energy, and how that can transmute many fears that have been maybe traumatized or put into people's experience or that people have experienced. Well, now you start, instead of doing this, now it's like, wait, now you're on an even keel. In the Kabbalah religion, they talk about the middle pillar. All right, I won't get too much into it because I don't get into much into religion. I just get into different things that I have come to understand. Okay, images and symbols that represent things that I understand. Okay, I don't talk about religion. Okay, so anyways, y'all go check out that video, and I'll see you guys soon.